Hey guys, it's Austin the Doctor, and welcome back to another review of Yuuna the Hot Springs. And I'm just gonna say, I'm almost liking this more than How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. But let's begin things off with what happened in the beginning. Yuuna and Kogarashi were flying up in the air, and Kogarashi's wide awake, but Yuuna is like, I'm awake, but not really. And when she falls back asleep, they fall straight into the hot springs, and it was amazing. So after that, we had the opening, which is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, but Kogarashi tells Yuuna that he's gonna have to chain himself up. So Yuuna basically doesn't make him fly up again, and Sagiri overhears him, and she basically goes, you want to be chained up faster?" Basically, I couldn't stop laughing. And Sagiri feels actually really bad for not protecting Yuuna because she's kind of the protector of the household, and Kogarashi thinks everyone is a ghost, and of course, Nonoko basically flashes some flesh to him and proves to him he's wrong, and Nonoko kind of riles Yuuna up to show, Kogarashi her legs, and basically it doesn't go so well for everyone right after that, and Noko flirts extremely hard with Kogarashi, and basically we hear a hilarious joke I haven't heard in a while in anime. Basically Noko's drunk, and being sober is extremely rare, and Sagiri actually attacks Kogarashi because of Nonoko, and I'm just like, this man never can catch a break, can he? And then Sagiri actually goes and asks Yuuna if, Kogarashi did anything to her, and she kind of blushes and freaks out, and that causes Sagiri to attack him again, and, I'm really loving the Sagiri and Kogarashi relationship because it's very funny and it keeps me entertained, unlike other animes, and I haven't really seen this kind of relationship in a while. And usually Sagiri's kind of character usually ends up falling at the end, unless it's Seraphal from Is This a Zombie? Great anime, suggest you should watch it. But basically Kogarashi tells Noko and Sagiri that he's going to help Yuuna move on, and they kind of have the whole support the idea but don't really want to lose Yuuna, and I have to admit that's a pretty normal reaction because Yuna's been there for a while, and they kind of got used to her. So we finally learned that, the innkeeper is the oldest out of all of them there, and Yaya appears underneath from the table, and she's in her panties, of course, and Sagiri attacks, Kogarashi for it. Poor guy. Of course, the monk shows up, to get Yuuna again, and he basically kind of convinces them to capture the girls so they can, use them for training, and they start charging in, and we see that Sagiri is actually a demon-slaying ninja that uses spirit weapons, and Nonoko is actually an or an ogre, is also the descendant of a, Shuten Doji, and, come on, that's pretty cool. And obviously Yaya shows up, and I thought she was a Nekomata, but she's actually possessed by a cat god, and Naki, the innkeeper, is a household deity that actually messes with luck, and I'm like, ooh, poor Kogarashi if he ever pisses them off. And basically, Naki uses the luck to kind of make the monks go away, and basically how it works is it gathers all the luck in their lifetime to put it in one shot. And Kogarashi realizes that he needs to be very careful because he's living with a bunch of powerful, women, and he might end up going to heaven before Yuuna. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was hilarious. And we cut back to, Kogarashi sleeping again, and Yuuna's, again, for once, sleeping on top of him, and she, sends him flying again. And Sagiri actually sees him flying out of the window, and she kind of goes, oh, he did something again. And we see Kogarashi pick up a cat that looks like Yaya, and it's actually her in cat form. And Sagiri sees him, and basically, Yaya tells that Kogarashi kind of, felt her up, and of course Sagiri punishes him and sets a petition to have him evicted. And the petition is going to be settled with a ping pong game, and Kogarashi hates ping pong because he has been possessed by a ping pong coach before, and basically this kind of helps him out. But Sagiri creates clones to help her score points. Then Yuuna uses her embarrassing memories to, counter it, and obviously this is the hilarious part. Yuuna flashes Kogarashi and wins the game, and all I gotta say is Shiro's right. Shiro was correct to say I believe in the panties, because I do too. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, this is perfect. Just purely perfect. And if you're wondering where that's from, it's Pet Girl Sakura's, and I actually highly recommend to check it out. But going back to, the good old anime, we see Yuuna sends everyone out again, and basically we have a rebuttal from them all to come back, and what happens is basically Sagari and Yaya kind of tell Kogarashi, don't worry, we're not going to ever try to get you out of here again, and basically says don't really be impure or touch us, because you're going to have something a lot worse than leaving this place to deal with. And he's like, don't worry, I won't touch you or do anything like that, I'm not that kind of person. That man, he has the luck of my life, honestly. Sometimes, and he trips on a ping pong ball and falls and gropes both of them. I'm like, oh, poor guy. And obviously he gets beat up, but coming towards the end, I know people are going to be like, whoa, who's shooting Duji? Or I know I didn't pronounce that at all correctly, but it's actually the Oni demon leader of Japan. And if you actually would love to read something about that, I do suggest looking that up on the internet. But that's basically who he is, and basically that makes Naoko kind of a princess in a sense. Can we call her a Disney princess? No, we can't. But overall, my final thoughts on this episode: it was really well done, and I know this sounds really weird, but I want to see this uncensored because it reminds me of DxD, and I really enjoyed Hero, but it wasn't as etching. That's just how Hero was, and that's how it's going to be with the Hero arc. But this one has me interested, and I can't wait to watch the next episode. And it's very good to get an understanding of what character has what ability, and they're setting it up perfectly. And it's very well done, in my opinion. And if you are on the fence about watching this anime still, I just honestly watch it. It's just a comedy, and yes, it has some action, and it has a really kind of story that's building up very nicely, but I love it. Now, my favorite character, obviously, is still between Yuuna, Yaya, and Sagari, and truthfully, Yuuna's still my number one, or is my number one still. Now, I don't remember what I said, honestly, sometimes forget, but who's your favorite girl? I'm kind of curious, because everyone has their favorite girl, right? So who's yours? Remember this question and answer down in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, this is Austin Dr. signing out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Peace.